The average age, and I was doing the math a little bit, and sorry if this is wrong for anyone who's a mathematician, but you know, the top 8 men's foilists have an average age about 30, 29, 30. Women's foilists have about an average age of 26, 27. Why do you think that there's this sort of, they're not older, but for sports, I mean, that's...
It seems that the fencers do peak in their late 20s. I mean, that seems to be the case. As to why there's a difference between the men and the women's average age, that could just be a cyclical thing right now. I'm not really sure what the answer is.
Yeah, but the part of it is that there's 2 fencers in the top 8. Casara, who we've seen fence today, and also Richard Cruz, who isn't here. He's also 35. And here we have the second semifinal bout. I believe the name on the piece is incorrect, because we just saw Dara Glazova on the right is actually Volpi of Italy.
Unless Dara Glazova wins and she fences herself.
That's tough to do, isn't it?
You bet.
What are we going to see from Volpi?
I think we'll see more of what we just saw right there. Just look for her to attack.
The Koreans are very active on the piste. Jeon is no exception. And here her feet kind of went past her.
Jeon started too fast with too big a step, causing her to lose a little bit control of her point. You fencer wants to start slow with a small step, and so you can control your point better. And there you saw Volpi just score on a counterattack.
Yeah. And as I said, part of the game for the Korean women is to utilize very fast footwork, very athletic. Volpi is, and we've talked about it too, she comes forward. She's got the Italian style where it's a lot of pressing to push to draw something, and Volpi's excellent at infighting. We've talked about infighting being part of the game and a big part of this in foil fencing, and Volpi's very good at it and forces it.
We haven't seen much of it yet tonight, but look for some of that infighting. It's really a very special talent. Referee says attack de droite, attack from the right by Volpi, off target. Let's watch. Not the best angle there, but as you can see on the right, Volpi started with the point threatening the valid target just a little bit ahead.
And there is a classic Volpi action, and she's hit righties when they hit lefties, often angled to the chest.
And the referee said, toujours l'attaque de droite. It's still the attack from the right. Even though Jeon might be hitting first, as long as Volpi is continuous with her action, she has the right of way.
Again, if you're just tuning in, it is Volpi on the right. They haven't changed the name on the piste. Another nice angled hit to the stomach there.
I think Jeon's going to have to change that up. The piece that you talk about, by the way, is 14 meters long by about 2 meters wide. If a fencer retreats off the back end of the piece, it's a point for the opponent.
That's still Alice Volpi's attack, and she pulls away 4-0 against Jeon.
So Jeon's tactics right now are not working. Volpi's attack, watch the attack from the right. Watch the point threatening the target. And Jeon's going to have to change this up here a little bit because she's just counterattacking right now. It's 3-4 times in a row, and she's down 4-0.
A nice parallel post. That's the example of, I've got a plan in mind, I'm going to come forward, but I've been surprised by something, so I'm ready. Parallel post. And that's the stuff you train over time.
Toujours l'attaque de droite. It's still the attack from the right. We hear that over and over from the referee.
Part of it, Jeff, I think I watched the arm a little bit. If the arm kind of pulls back at all, because you were talking about the threatening the point, I mean, Alice Volpi kind of pulls her arm back a little bit and sometimes even pulls it back more towards the end. And I think sometimes that makes a difference for her whether or not she gets the attack or not.
Sometimes she pulls the arm back a little because the opponent's stepping in, but as long as it's still moving forward that's a straight attack to the open target there. And Jun has no, she can't figure out what to do right now. Watch on the right. Here it comes. Beat, attack to the stomach.
She gets a nice angulation there.
That was a very nice touch, which was a different target. Up until now, Volpe's been attacking to the flank under the arm of Jun. And she needs to do more of that.
There's that infighting we were talking about, but usually Volpe is very good at getting her point on that.
And hit off target on that one on a counter riposte. See, what's happening here is that Volpe is causing Jun to fall short on the attack. Her distance is perfect as Volpe. Once Jun is short, then Volpe can make her new attack. It's almost too easy for her.
Volpe is definitely showing her dominance here. She's ahead by 6. I haven't really seen Jun make any sort of big changes here. What do you think?
Nothing so far. Maybe she has to do something second intention, push Volpe down the strip and maybe look for a parry riposte like this. Push her, draw Volpe out, and then make a parry. Let's see. Asking for a replay is Jun.
She thinks it's her attack and it's continuous, but the referee is saying, nope, I think you're stopping. Volpe's going, so it's Volpe's attack. Let's see it here.
Well, you can certainly make a case for the attack from the left there. I wouldn't be surprised if the referee changes this call. It did seem to me that Volpe was reacting to Jun's attack. And the referees will look at it. And here comes the call.
This is referee Pascal Maget of France.
Back to gauche.
So he saw what you saw.
Yes, and good for him. Sometimes referees have big egos. They don't like to change the call, but at the end of the day, the best referees do what's right for the fencers and make the call correctly.
So there she is making, I feel like she's stepping forward now, kind of doing that second intention, not just going straight for an action.
Just break the tempo, make Volpe react a little bit, because up until now, Volpe's been controlling the dance the entire bout.
Two very immediate things that you can change that I've talked to the students I work with is you can either change the distance or you can change the timing.
Or you could change the coach.
Well, Maget still sees it as the riposte, and Volpe wants to see the video. I think everyone has a style of how they ask for video. I think we're seeing that here.
Yes. When the video first came, people would make the little sign like a TV screen. Today we saw one of the fencers make it sign like it was a 65-inch TV screen.
I think that was Korobeynikova.
Here comes the referee. Let's see what he says. Maintains the original call.
Which means Volpe loses one of her video replays. Here we can see it's parry.
Yes.
Riposte.
Yes.
Yep.
Jun came forward. Volpe made the attack, which is parried right there. And the riposte right there.
And that mask wasn't target until recently, probably in the last.
You could see the bottom part of the bib and the mask is electrified. It's got a cord there, so it's a valid target now. So, simultaneous attacks as the referee, but only Volpe's light goes on, so she gets the touch.
I think Jun actually stepped on her foot wrong. I mean, I don't think we can really appreciate how fast and how strong these women are coming together, or these fencers are coming together and hitting.
But they do say that some of these blades move as quickly as 100 miles per hour.
There, you can see how strong the two of them are.
And you can see that Jun's front foot stepped sort of on Volpe's front foot, and she twisted the ankle. Now, if there is an injury that's verified by the medical personnel, the fencer would get a 5-minute timeout. But in this case, it's not even being requested by Jun.
45 seconds left in the first period. This is first of 3.
Is Volpe asking for the replay? She is.
Volpe is asking for the replay. Her coach, Giovanna Trellini, one of my favorite fencers of all time, has now stepped up and asked as well.
So this is the third time the two fencers have asked for a replay. The referee has changed one of the calls, maintained the second, and here comes the third.
So Volpe looks like she's in preparation, and Jun makes the attack. And
Volpe has no, do you hear that? No more replay challenges for her. Very early in the bout to do that.
I think a smart fencer uses, that's a nice action, attack. I think a smart fencer uses these replays also to know, hey, what is the referee calling as an attack, and what does he see, or what does she see?
Well, that might be true, but even if you're number 2 in the world and defending world champion, I think it's a mistake to burn both of your replays in the first half of the bout like that.
Well, right now she's ahead by 4.
Referee says the attacks were at the same time, the remise or the second actions were at the same time, and therefore there's no right away and there's no touch.
Oh, Jonah is slowly making her comeback. She's changing up that tempo that we talked about. And now really nice attack with the changed up tempo, and she's within 3.
Here comes Jeanne on the left. Feint, feint, and attack. So
Very nice.
It's the footwork. It's really the footwork that set up that whole action there. She's moving very quickly. I don't look for Volpe to cede ground or go backwards very quickly on this action.
She comes forward, Jun is ready, and comes within 2.
Here comes Volpe.
Oh, that was, I don't know if that's luck or not, but now she's within striking distance here of tying it up with Volpe, world number 2.
Volpe's attack missed. Here comes Volpe on the right. Well, Volpe was coming on the right there.
But you can see how active their feet are. I mean, that's still a great angle to just see how active their feet are and how they have to constantly be moving.
And if you saw at the end there, Jeanne ducked, causing Volpe to miss being on the counterattack. It's 8-9, and the complexion of this bout changed in the last 20 seconds.
Volpe's still trying to make the attack, smoothing it out a little bit more, perhaps. Still 16 seconds, and like we said before in the last match, all the fencers are really fencing out the whole 3 minutes, where they haven't been before.
Referee says that Jeanne's coming forward with her arm back in preparation. Her feet are moving, her arm is not. Volpe found the time and made the attack into that preparation.
Volpe's able to maintain her lead. That was a really nice, I feel like she smoothed out her attacks a little bit more.
It wasn't just an attack, it was a beat attack, and that's the third time she's made that beat attack and hit in the open area in the stomach. What, beat? And she makes that angle and hits in the stomach. It's the third time in the first half of this bout we've seen that exact action. So with 15 seconds to go, it was a 1-touch lead. With 6 seconds to go, and look what's happened here.
Now it's a 4-touch lead.
Just like that, the
and
whole
we're
thing
fencing
changed.
it out, right?
Yeah.
So the importance of fencing out the last couple of seconds. Another attack, taking the chance. I'm not sure I would have taken that chance, but Volpe went for it.
She went for it. Wow, it's amazing what happened in the last 15 seconds here. We wouldn't have seen this a year ago in the International Fencing Federation. Both fencers would have just walked away and gone to the break.
Wow, that was a big last couple of 15 seconds, and now we're into the break. Volpe goes to her coach, Giovanna Trellini, and Jun goes to her coach, the Korean coach. And now we have about a minute of break. So what do you think that Jun should do now? She's within a couple points, but Volpe just 2 away from making it to the finals.
If I'm Jeanne right now, I cannot defend against Volpe's beat attack to my stomach. She's hit 4 times on it, and not even close. So I'm going to go down fighting with some other action. I'm going to push Volpe, because if I go back in defense, Volpe's picking me off at will. I can't lose the bout on that action.
Right, and we talked about Jun just breaking up the tempo and being able to hit by breaking up the tempo going forward. But as you said before, I don't think Volpe ever gives up too much ground, so it's going to take a lot of work to try to push her back.
Yeah, she likes to go forward, for sure. Interesting, Iris, in the first part of the bout, Volpe was attacking Jun's flank under her elbow, and she hasn't been doing that anymore. Now she's attacking to the stomach and been very successful.
We're now in the second round of the second semifinals against Volpe of Italy and Jun Bisuk. And Volpe makes her nice attack and is now within 1 touch of making it to the finals with Dara Glazova of Russia.
It's almost like Volpe, watch this attack again, the feint, and she angles it to the stomach. It's almost like she's taking a lesson from her coach and just doing the same move over and over again.
Yeah, but that says a lot about a really good fencer too. She's able to hit the same spot in different angles and in different parts of the piece.
Some people have the philosophy, don't keep doing the same thing over and over. My philosophy is, I'm going to do it over and over until you figure it out.
Very nice action, and then that's that kind of jumpy tempo that we're kind of breaking up that tempo. She still has to make up a lot more ground.
Volpe just counterattacked there. I don't look for her to do that again. Referee says attack au fer de droite. Beat attack from Volpe on the right.
Volpe again, listening to your direction, not changing it up, going to the same target. Beautiful action. Volpe moves to the finals with Dara Glazova, and we kind of predicted this. These top 2 fencers have been kind of going back and forth between who's first, right? Who's on first?
It's sort of like Nadal and Federer. These two
Hear
are
this
having
nice action here, parry.
Here comes the attack. Watch her angle
This is
her
the
blade
Volpe
into
we're
the
going to
stomach.
call it.
6 times out of 15 touches on that action.
Very nice. I think we're going to just coin it the Volpe.
That is the Volpe.
Against a lefty, and we'll see what she does against a righty, Dara Glazova. So now our finals for women are set. And we're going to take a short break, and then up next are the men. We're calling in the men for the semifinals of the Anaheim Grand Prix.
And now as an honor welcome to the stage, this evening's men's semifinalists.
Alessio Falconi of Italy will be facing his teammate Tommaso Marini, a young fencer. He's the 2018 Junior European Zonal Champion. The second match up will be Julian Martinet, who's actually 67th in the world. This is a big event for him today. Fencing Chung Ka Long of Hong Kong.
Here's your defending world champion, Falconi.
World champion in
He really didn't fence very well earlier in the day, Iris.
You know, I think that's part of Falcone's thing. I mean, he's a fighter on the piste, and he doesn't give up. And part of it is that fight. And he was very. I don't think anything comes easily for him. He fights for every touch.
He's going to have a tough match against Marini. Marini's about 6'4", 6'5". He's about 7'2" if you include his hair.
Well, we should include the hair.
Your second semi-finalist match. Representing France, Julian Martin. Julian is the 2014 World Team Champion and 2012 Amanda World Cup Champion. Give it up for Julian Martin. His opponent, representing Hong Kong, he is the 2016 Asian Champion and 2017 Junior World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Xiang Ka-lung. The referees for this evening's medal rounds are from Egypt, Basel El Nagar. From Korea, Song Won-soo. From Singapore, Eugene Wee Hong-Chua. And from Russia, Natalia Zurableva. Round of applause for our semifinalists. Get underway.
Always nice to see the referees cheered for.
I think so too. I mean, it's a lot of hard work what they're doing out there, and they put through the ringer.
It's a tough job as a referee. You can't ever win a bout, but you could be accused of having lost a bout for somebody. You're expected to be perfect.
Right. Up first is current world champion Alessio Falcone, and he's fencing a young teammate, Tommaso Marini of Italy. And again, there's no coaches in the box, but if you're going to look at things on the paper, you would say, okay, Falcone for sure, let's put bets on him. But I don't know. We watched Marini fence against American Alexander Macialis, and he took Macialis apart.
And he beat Le Pachou of France before that. And here's going to be the bout here. Marini has incredibly long distance, long legs, long arms, and it's going to be up to Falcone to try to get inside that distance.
He has a very awkward tempo, and it's just hard to predict. So the question is how often has he fenced him, and can Falcone predict that tempo?
Marini's on a roll today. Let's see if he can continue. And Falcone sort of struggled early in the day. He just made it out of the earlier bouts. 1 second in, riposte by Marini to take the lead 1-0.
You see how tall and long he is. It's.
But look how close they are. Look how close they are. That's to Falcone's advantage right now. They're very close.
The Italians tend to like to fence at very close distance, apparently even the really tall ones. I think that's part of the problem, and I've seen this also with Alexander Macialis. You can't really stop Marini. You try to stand there and stop, and there's a nice simple action from Falcone, I think, finding the tempo.
Well, Marini stepped forward with his legs, but his arm wasn't moving. Watch, he's moving forward with his legs, and then Falcone just nailed him.
How many times did we see that with Macialis?
Oh, we saw the same action.
Where there's a parallel post miss, and Marini is able to hit with the remise.
And referee said counter riposte, but I agree with you. I think it was a remise.
Yeah.
Or the second action.
Falcone ties it up.
Watch on the right, Falcone. Oh.
Very
He caught
nice timing.
caught Marini napping on that one. Just lulled him to sleep. So both of Falcone's touches have been just like that. As Marini advanced, Falcone's found an opening, made a straight lunge. And the reason this is happening is because Marini, with the huge distance advantage, is playing into Facconi's distance way too close.
At this point, he still gives the touch, right? You can't just let go of your weapon. So 3-2.
Great infighting. Remember, we talked earlier about the infighting. That was our first great infighting touch
Yeah.
of the evening.
Facconi's a top-level fencer. I mean, when his point is always on, you're going to hardly see any off targets here. Except for that one. I'll give him that one. How about that?
You know, it's really amazing how close Marini is fencing Facconi in this battle. It's really not to his advantage, to Facconi's advantage. He is fencing at straight lunge distance, whereas against Masialos, or both tall fencers, he had a much longer distance than Marini.
And there you can see it. So Marini's trying to make a parry. Riposte doesn't have enough room, misses, and Facconi is able to hit.
And the reason he didn't have enough room is because he has long limbs, and once Facconi stepped in, it's hard for him to get the blade going.
Facconi is taking his time to set up the action.
Facconi did hit on that the previous time with the infighting, just missed on that one.
Yep, behind the head.
Yeah.
I don't think my arm works like that.
Toujours l'attaque, says the referee. It's still the attack from the left. Facconi's not challenging it. Watch on the left. Here he comes. That's the attack from the left. And the reason it's the attack from the left is because his point is moving towards the valid target, although he hit on the arm there, as you can see, which is off target.
These are some great matches to watch, especially if you're a first-time watcher of fencing. And I would just urge, watch one fencer at a time. Choose one and watch them. How are they hitting? Where are they hitting?
This time, Marini used his distance. He caused Facconi's attack to fall short, and then Marini scored in the counterattack.
And there it is again, the same action, tying it up at 4-4. Facconi's asking, hey, I don't think my tip works. Can you test it? So
Here comes on the right. The attack is short. It misses. And Marini has tied the score by using that long distance on the last two touches.
yeah, it's important that the fencers ask the referee to test the weapon that they don't, because if it doesn't work, then they can annul the touch.
Correct.
I do know some rules, Jeff.
Well, you should, Iris. You're an Olympic fencer.
I think I was just more focused on hitting the target.
Marini hit Facconi with a taste of his own medicine there because he caused Facconi's riposte to miss, and Marini hit on the remise, the second action. No, and there he hit on the chest, and you can see Facconi went for the back and glanced off the back, did not put the light on.
Do you think that the distance has changed, as you said, to give him a little bit more space? Is that how he's making a run of touches?
I think he's opened it up a little bit, has Marini. Marini's attack, straight attack, off target. Facconi made the attack, Marini made the parry or the block, and made the riposte, off target.
You do see Facconi taking his time to try to make the distance close, but there he's getting caught a little bit flat-footed.
That's the first time he really did get caught flat-footed. He did the same thing to Marini twice early in the bout. Watch
There it
Marini in the
is.
left. He sees an opening.
Just
Makes a
kind of,
straight lunge, yeah.
it's too close.
Facconi goes, oh my, I'm not doing that again.
That was a nice riposte, finding the target.
Marini's up 6-4. He seems to have, his footwork is a little quicker now. He seems to be feeling it.
Oh, that was an unbelievable touch.
And the reason he got that touch is because he used his super long distance. He was able to hit while Facconi was short.
It's hard because Marini was good at putting it out there. It's the first time he's done that, and so Focconi's used to being a little bit closer for that riposte. And now he's a little bit tentative to make the riposte, and kind of, you know, in essence, Marini kind of took away the riposte from Focconi.
Because he retreated out of the distance as opposed to stepping in. Straight attack by Marini. So the last couple actions, we've seen a straight attack by Marini. We've seen the counter attack retreating at a distance. And just like that,
Those arms fast. It comes out very quickly.
Yes, watch,
Slow
watch on the
feet.
left. Right there.
Using that long arm.
And he's doubled it up at 8-4.
Focconi now decides, forget it, I've missed so many times, I'm not really sure, let's try a
change.
different foil.
Yeah.
And it also helps, right? We talked about it being a tactic to relax a little bit. Let me get my mind straight here.
And let me break my opponent's momentum a little bit, too. We've seen it earlier today.
I've seen Focconi come back from bigger deficits. I mean, he's just a worker on the piece. So, I mean, we've got 41 seconds left in the period. There's still a lot of time left to close the gap.
Right now, Marini is in the zone, and he's using his distance to his advantage, and Focconi's having a difficult time putting the green light on.
I think sometimes when a young fencer breaks onto the scene and they fence a little bit differently, they're a little awkward, they haven't been figured out yet. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here with Marini. I mean, none of the top level fencers have really seen him that often, probably fenced him that often, and can't really deal with his tempo and his fast, really long arm, just like that.
Wow, just toying with Focconi on that touch was Marini. Just a straight attack. Watch on the left. Here it comes, and there it goes, right to the shoulder.
It's hard because it's a little bit deceptive, right? You feel like you've got enough distance, and then the 7-foot-long arm comes out to hit you.
Earlier in the bout, I thought Marini was way too close, but right now he's just in the right distance.
Focconi's trying to go a different tactic. All right, now I need to rush.
You hear the referee say attack or fair. Focconi made the attack by beating the blade, which is what Focconi has to do to get in the distance of the longer Marini.
That was a nice attack, and that's exactly what you're talking about, that tackle fair. Take the blade, take the blade, take the blade to get into distance and finish the attack.
And there, it could have been parry riposte by Marini. He thinks so. He's not asking for the replay.
This is the fun part about fencing, this sort of tactical thought process. So Focconi's like, oh, Marini attacked from the left. He has to change it up, and so he's decided I got to rush a little bit more forward to change it up.
And of course, when you rush, you certainly open yourself up. A tackle fair, it's a nice one by Focconi. Beat attack, the shorter fencer has to take the blade to get into the longer fencer's distance. Watch on the right, beat, attack, a beauty.
He's missed a couple times to the back. Halt was called.
Referee calls
too
halt.
soon.
It's too late. Once the referee calls halt, the rules of fencing say no new action can begin after the halt. Now, sometimes the referee calls the halt too early, but you can't then compound the problem by allowing the action that began after you called the early halt, which is probably what happened here.
Here he's missed. He's done this a couple times, missing the back.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be the riposte target he wants.
And
That
there was no
works.
body contact. The referee could have let it go. Focconi had an argument, but the referee called halt. And once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't put it back in.
I wouldn't call it an argument. See, that is incredible. I mean, I don't think as a fencer, I don't know how to deal with something like that. Very slow, loping, and then this just very quick arm that's just so long you can't anticipate it.
I would just try to get in close if I can if I'm Facconi, which is what Marini did.
What he just did
back.
now. I mean, Facconi just tried to cut him off with the pass, but Marini's still on top of it. Widening the gap more, 13-6, 2 away from the finals here at the Anaheim Grand Prix.
Still the attack from the right, says the referee. It was blade contact, but he's saying that it's Facconi's blade contact.
Slowly closing the gap. 7 seconds left in this round. Really nice attack.
So if I'm Marini, I retreat as fast as I can and get to the break. No more touches here for him.
1 more second left.
Nice attack from the right by Facconi. Watch, here it comes. Right to the chest.
So that's the end of the first round. I mean, everything on paper says that Facconi should really be walking away with this match, but what we're seeing here is a 5-point deficit going into the second round. Jeff, what can Facconi do if you're his coach? What can he do in the second round to change the tides?
It's going to be based on his footwork. He's going to have to work extra hard to get in, to get out, to get into the distance. And certainly you can't allow Marini to hit you in any more straight attacks. Go down fighting with second intention. Push Marini down to his side of the piece.
I haven't seen a lot of second intention on that attack or being able to pick up the blade. Marini's attack, I'm not sure I've seen much like that. You know, the slow legs and then this super quick long arm. That's a tough thing to deal with, and Facconi's been hit over and over on it. We've seen Macialis get hit over and over on it and not be able to deal with it. I saw Macialis earlier in the corner with his teammates trying to figure out what happened. Marini's definitely on.
It's a huge advantage in many sports when you have that length and that arm. Try to imagine these two are boxers and he had the wingspan of Marini. It's just very hard to get inside his distance.
Definitely fencing is a combat sport, so there's a lot of comparison that you can draw between boxing and fencing with the changing of tactics.
So Facconi has been successful somewhat in infighting, so maybe he has to just try to get inside Marini, crash in there, and look for that para-riposte.
And that's what it looks like he was doing towards the end of the first round. There, another attack. That attack au fer that we've been talking about.
He has to take the blade. Facconi takes the blade every time. It was Marini. Still smarting. Attack au fer from Marini off target.
Get hit.
So Marini, clearly he knew that he can't retreat again and let Facconi push him like that. So good for him, the 18-year-old. He says, on the next action, I'm going to push you down the piece.
Here he is, pushing, off target.
Facconi a little bit lucky there because he was a dead duck.
You can see Facconi trying to take over the attack. He parries, misses. You can see the frustration. Marini then within 1 point of making it being the first qualifier for the finals of the Anaheim Grand Prix. And I can't overstate, like, when someone is new and kind of new to the scene like this, we haven't sort of figured out, or the top level fencers haven't figured out how to fence them yet.
And they will.
Riposte again misses.
Every country, every coach, every fencer has a book on all the other fencers, and they will develop a book on Marini, how to overcome this incredible length that he has.
Facconi's still trying to get the point in with the attack. There it is. Marini makes his attack with that arm, but changes it to the shoulder. That long, fast arm, and this young, I think 18-year-old is now the first one into the finals for the men's foil portion of this Grand Prix semifinals. Up next is Julian Martinet. Did we decide Martinet or Martine?
We've heard Martine, we've heard Martinet. Let's go with Martine.
Martine of France, and fencing Chung Kalong of Hong Kong, who is, as you heard earlier, the 2017 Junior World Championships. This is a big result for Martine.
Big result for him, but he's also been a member of the 2014 World Championship foil team. So it's not like he's chopped liver, but from an individual standpoint, this is a great result for him. And we just had a huge upset there with the 18-year-old upstart beating the defending world champion.
Give it up for Alessio Focconi and Tabasco Marini.
Martine's road to tonight started with Suzumura of Japan. Then he fenced Semenyuk of Russia. Then Shikine of Japan. Then Martine faced Cassara of Italy to make it to the semifinals today. Chung's road to the semifinals included a match with, if I can find it, Trofimov of Russia, Akhmetov is another Russian. Then he fenced Meinhardt of the United States, and then Chupanich, a Czech fencer, to make it to the semifinals. And Chung is here now. As you can see, so we have a lefty. So there was one lefty in the women, another lefty here in the men's event. And again, on paper, if you're going to go with ranking, Chung Kalong should be the one on top today. But as we saw, that means nothing right now.
No, but one thing that I've noticed with Chung today, he's won all his bouts have been close. 15-12, 15-14, 15-14, 15-13. So he is grizzled today, and he's winning.
I do have to say that Martine also has a French coach in Hong Kong. So I think that helps a little bit, right? So the French coach can give him a little bit of tactical awareness of what the French usually fence like.
Certainly would help.
That was incredibly fast. Did you see that?
That was very quick riposte by Martine. Chung came right after him with an attack that he paid the price.
But I've seen Chung today a couple of times be behind, especially in the first couple touches, and then pull it forward. So
Watch Martine on the right.
we're still early days.
There's a straight attack with a flesh, which is a running type of an attack. Watch this. Wow, right in the shoulder area. Beautiful touch. Little fist pump. Up 2-0. 5 seconds into the bout.
I think it's important with Marini and Martine that the feet do come forward pretty quickly, but the arm always extends. There's still enough room for the arm extension.
Tackle fair by the left by Chung. No question about it. He made a beat attack. Just gave him the right of way. 1-3. The referee says point in line. Once Chung puts the point in line out there, he has the right of way. Martina tacked onto it, so it was right away by Chung. Iris, there we see Martina again do the attack with the flesh, the running attack. But watch Chung, he takes one extra step back there, causing him to fall short.
We did talk about that, the fact that distance is so important, that if you can command the distance and make the distance right for you on the piece, that you can often come out on top.
Referee called halt. Not sure why. Certainly was a huge advantage for Martine because he was running out of room.
For this year, this is the second semifinals that Chung has fenced in at a Grand Prix. He was actually the silver medalist at the Torino Grand Prix.
So Chung's attack is no, or short, or misses. And the counterattack by Martine scores to make it 4-2.
It's interesting. I mean, Martine kind of comes in really fast with his feet, but there's still room for his hand.
Sometimes when you come in too quickly, your feet, you lose control of the point, causing you to miss or hit off target.
It seems like Martine has a really nice control of that.
So Chung is making a very similar attack. He's beating the blade and trying to attack to the chest of Martine. He's hit only once so far in that action.
Chung makes him miss, and I almost feel like those acrobatics a little bit, Jeff.
I almost feel like Chung was off the end of the strip with both feet, the end of the piece before he hit, but Martine didn't ask for a replay, so it's a good touch.
Martine looks very focused on what he's doing, so he's just walked right back to the line, ready for the next.
So here Chung made a very quick attack in the middle of the piece. Martine caused him to miss, made a counterattack and scored. You can see Martine hit with such force that he bent that unbreakable steel, Miragean steel blade almost in half. The fencers are allowed to have a 1 centimeter bend in the blade.
See that there.
Look at that, almost bent it in half. Yeah.
And that's how fast and how strong they're both coming into each other. I don't think we see that, or, you know, the hits don't look that hard, but they really come together pretty strong.
A beauty by Martine, a beat attack, attack fair, says the referee.
Right now, Martine has the rhythm of the bout. It's in his favor, 7-3.
Here's a
Look at
beat,
this action.
beat, attack. Wow. Very close. Watch the beat on the right. Gives him the right away. Beat. Oh, hits on the back. Great shot by Martine.
He has really good control of his hand, even though his feet are moving so quickly. It seems to be his signature, getting in very quick with the feet, but still getting his hand out faster.
He's definitely beating Chung to the. He's beating him to the punch right now. So there, Martine made a parry of Chung's attack. Went for the riposte. Chung stepped in, causing Martine's riposte to miss, and Chung scored on the remise.
Yeah, because Martine comes in so fast, so strong, the distance is so close to do the infighting.
Attack fair from the left, Chung, and a beat attack on Martine's first step. So here, twice in a row, Chung, by taking the blade, earned the right of way and scored 2 quick touches. Watch on the left, watch Chung take the blade. Beat, attack in preparation.
Now he's within 1 to tie it up in the first round.
You can see so clearly on these replays when a fencer takes the blade and makes the attack.
Nice action.
Not
Again,
just
the
attacks
control
of the
of the
referee.
feet. Yep.
Attack fair, beat attack. That's 3 in a row where Chung has taken Martine's blade in the middle of the piece and scored.
Chung now a big surge forward and now tied up. So the question is, who took the blade? I knew Martine was going to ask for that. I think I took the blade for attack fair. And Jeff, and you've said this before, attack fair beats.
Let's watch on the right. Does Martine take the blade? Beat.
I'm
Now,
not sure.
Now, in my opinion, here comes the referee. Fencers put their mask on, so the referee's now going to make the call.
This call stands.
And Martine shakes his
loses
head,
this.
says he knew it. If both fencers beat at the same time, the referee has determined who initiated the action, and that person gets the right of way.
Very nice counterattack. Chung now is taking the lead and really has command of both the attack actions and the right distance for. He's done everything in the back, going backwards, parry post, hit and get away, all of the counterattack.
Well, the last 5 touches for Chung have been because he's controlled the blade well. Chung wants a replay saying, I made a beat attack.
So we're flipping it now.
But whatever the case is, the complexion of this bout has changed because Chung is doing very well with beat attack on the blade.
Well, part of it too, I mean, Martin, there it is, nice.
Yes,
And
that's
attack
true.
touche, so he never actually took the blade.
No, once he was short, that gave Martin that gave Martin a little window of time to make the new attack. So they each have 1 video left.
Martin, part of it, his whole thing was this fast attack, the fast feet in, and then the arm out. But he hasn't really made it work in the last couple of touches, so Chung has been able to capitalize and change it up. But Martine, what can he change up?
What I would do if I'm Martin, I would do whatever. I would do absence of blade. I would not give Chung the blade. Wow, what a riposte by Chung. Martin attacked from out of distance. He overcommitted himself. And once Chung retreated out of distance.
See him falling on the ground, missing.
With a thumb up.
I'm okay.
I'm okay, even though you got me. Here comes the attack. Out of distance. Parry, riposte to the back.
Chung is now pulling away and ahead by 2. Able to deal with Martin's fast attack.
Not just attack, it's a beat attack. Chung beat the blade, and finally the 3rd time beat the blade and made the attack.
So we've seen this before. Martin saying, okay, I've got 1 minute to the break. I really need a break right now. I'm going to grab some foils, change it up.
Watch the beat attack by Chung.
And Chung has been he's had really nice attacks to the chest, then to the flank. He's really able to mix it up. He's sort of feeling the bout now.
He's owned the second half of this bout because of his blade action. So if I'm Martin, I'm going to say, I'm not letting you get my blade. I would do absence of blade. Anything just not to give Chung that blade, because he's getting a huge advantage with the blade. Like this, off the blade.
Or you can actually give him the blade and then counter riposte. I've done that too.
Then you can do that for sure.
Well, that's a nice change. Catching Chung earlier on. So again, that's what I'm talking about. Martin likes that attack. Really fast feet and then the arm, but it's not quite working right now, and Chung is ready for it.
There's Martin pushing. Wait in line.
Martin is now 1 point away from tying it up with Chung. Martin.
But Chung not even letting the referee make the call and say, I want to replay.
Yeah, right.
No matter what you say, I want to replay on this one.
I think without the replay, we'll see it in a second. Martin, for me, looks like he's doing the attack au fer.
Right, and it looked like counterattack on the blade by Chung. And it's close, it's at the same time, but someone started, and the referee has to determine who that is.
And they only have 1 video left, both of them. So now Chung has used up all his videos.
An attack proves if you're watching the right beat, attack. It's a beat attack from Martin. So
But part of it is too, I mean, I think tactically, I almost think Chung didn't believe it was his, so he kind of wanted a break for a second. I need to think about it because now I'm tied up 11-11.
well, I would have tied my shoe or figured out some other way other than burning my last video challenge. You hear the referee say attack au fer. Every action in this bout is on the blade. Both fencers.
Very nice change-up. Not just the attack, but waiting and making preparation, parry riposte. And now Martin.
Watch Martin on the right. Watch this. Parry, riposte, kaboom.
Kaboom.
Parry, riposte. Wow, that's demoralizing. What a shot.
That was a good change-up because most of the time he's coming forward, Martin, coming forward to make the attack, and this time he came forward with the intention, it looked like, to make sure to draw out the counterattack.
Right.
That's staying one step ahead of your opponent.
You're not trying to hit, you're just trying to draw out the attack, so you're waiting for it. No more replays for Chung.
Martine now pulls away by 2, 13-11.
If I'm Chung, let us go to the break. But I'm not Chung.
Nice.
Chung's not me.
Not you, and he's taking the risk. Really nice para post. 12-13, within one of tying it up with 5 seconds left in the first round.
Almost off the back, almost.
I'm really loving this fencing to the last minute. It makes it super exciting that all the fencers have last second, going up to the last second with their fencing. Wow, what a first round, Jeff.
A lot of touches there, back and forth. Change the momentum. First Martine, then Chung, then Martine again after he changed the blade.
The bout's not over yet. I mean, just because Chung is down by 1, there's still a lot of fencing left.
All
so
of Chung's bouts today have been 15, 12, 13, or 14. So he's used to this. Wow.
Nice action. And you said, I mean, look at how much blade action, really clean and nice blade actions. Good movement from both of them. And trading back and forth. This is fencing at its best. So what do you think we're going to expect in the next round if you're going to make any predictions, Jeff?
If I'm Chung, I'm going to try to do to Martine what he did to me on a previous action, where Martine pushed forward, waited for Chung's attack, where he waited for a para riposte. If I'm Chung, I'm going to try to do the same thing to Martine. Push him down to his side of the piece, try to draw out his attack, and wait for the para riposte.
It's funny how they're trading the same actions back and forth. Martine has the momentum in his favor by 1 ahead of Chung going into the second round. And Chung has no more videos, and Martine has 1 left. What was called?
For core, body contact, that stops the action.
So he just made an attack there, not waiting for any sort of counterattack. Chung is now tied 13-13. We saw the wave of the bout going back and forth.
That was some attack by Chung.
Chung misses. Martine is able to get the hit. He's within 1 for the finals of the Anaheim Grand Prix.
Will Martine go for the attack with the flesh, with the running attack?
Yes, he'll get hit. These guys are coming in so fast and slamming into each other.
Martine in trouble at the end of his side of the piece there.
Attack right, 1 light. Martine secures his spot in the finals. This is a huge win for him, being 67th in the world. This is a big win today at the Grand Prix, 15-13 against Chung, who actually was a silver medalist at the last Grand Prix. Great fencing today. 2 fencers out of nowhere that we would have predicted to be in the top 2. Marini, a young fencer from Italy, and Martine. So we got to get their names right before we go in.
Well, in direct contrast to the women's side, where you have number 1 and number 2 in the world facing each other for the gold, as expected, the chalk, so to speak, we've had exactly the opposite here with the men. And we knew that Facconi was the only one of the top fencers who was in the 4. So once he was out, it was going to be some upsets here.
This is going to be shaping up to be an incredible final. We've got 2 fencers in the women's foil that we knew were going to face each other. Top fencer in the world, Ina Deriglazova, fencing current world champion Alice Volpi of Italy. And we knew at the beginning of this, and we've been talking about this sort of matchup between the 2 of them, and now we're going to have it. Then the second one is 2 people that at the beginning of the day we'd have never guessed that they would ever be on the on the finals piece together, and that's Marini of Italy, a young fencer with a little bit of an awkward style, long and fast arm, and Martine of France, who also has a super fast arm.
Well, let's look for Marini to keep a slightly longer distance against Martine than Marini did against his teammate Facconi. He fences so close. I look for him to really take advantage of his length in this gold medal bout.
Part of it is you're hoping that Martine watched Marini or has someone watch Marini, because Marini does have an atypical style, and so you do need to have watched him. He's young, so you don't have a lot of experience watching him. So hopefully somebody has some tactical guidance for Martine when he goes into the finals. So we'll take a short break and go into the individual women's foil. Nope.
Well, Iris, if we look at the piece right now, you see on the red side you have Alice Volpe, and she's going up against just the green fencer, but we know the green fencer is #1 in the world, Ina Deriglazova, whether her name is on the piece or not.
Statistically speaking, Deriglazova right now is the more dominant fencer on the scene. 3 World Cup golds, no Grand Prix golds this season yet, but she's looking to remedy that tonight against Volpe, who is actually the winner of the last Grand Prix in Torino on home turf.
And Volpe has made amends for what her result was last year in Anaheim, where I believe she went out in the round of 64, which was quite a shocker.
I think we're still waiting for the fencers to come out here. What do you think about the pace of the bout? I mean, Volpe comes forward. She's definitely an aggressive fencer, likes to come forward. Definitely can go back, but likes to come forward. Ina Deriglazova likes to kind of take her time, is very mechanical, surgical almost.
Almost plodding at times, but when she strikes and when she goes all out on her lunge with her attack, Deriglazova, she's deadly.
I think we're almost ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the semi-finalists for the men.
So here the women are coming out. Deriglazova, world #1 versus world rank #2, Alice Volpe.
This evening's women's finalists. Representing Russia, Ina Deriglazova. Her opponent, representing Italy, Alice Volpe.
These 2 seasoned fencers are the 2 superstars, been 1 and 2 for the past 2 seasons. They're going to be matching up tonight. The last time they matched up in Cairo at the Cairo World Cup earlier this month, Deriglazova won 15-7. Most of their encounters, Deriglazova, 9 out of 11 times, she's been the victor. So it's really on Volpe tonight to change things up and change the tide.
Deriglazova has her game face on.
She always has her game face on. I've never not seen their game face, Jeff.
That's true.
They will be competing tonight for special prizes that were donated by the Macialis Foundation. Greg Macialis, the head coach of the U.S. men's foil team, and his son and Greek Olympian is Macialis' father, Greg Macialis' father. They donated the prizes tonight. They're specially made helmets.
And here we go. We've seen Derek Glazova fall behind early in a couple of her bouts. Right out of the gate. Let's see if she can avoid that in this bout.
At this point, they've fenced enough times that they're very clear about what kind of tactics they're going to use on the piece with each other.
There's the long lunge attack by Derek Glazova off target.
I don't expect this bout to be a high-scoring match right away.
The referee says attack touche from the right, but it's attack au fair on the blade. Derek Glazova likes to take the blade. As we've seen tonight, a lot of the fencers like to attack after taking the blade.
It's interesting to see Volpe kind of not herself on the piece. Usually she's daring, taking over the attack, and here she's just kind of waiting it out a little bit.
Attack is short, and there's parry and riposte by Derek Glazova on the right. Parry and riposte right to the chest. Counter riposte from Derek Glazova on the right off target. So far, Volpe has not been able to get inside of Derek Glazova.
Derek Glazova takes it away. This is the first time I think she's been in the lead in one of the bouts we've seen. Volpe, in my opinion, needs to not be afraid to be herself. She still needs to fence at her tempo and her game. I think she's just a little too close.
Well, one thing is for sure at the outset of this bout, Derek Glazova has owned Volpe with counter riposte. She's just really hitting her at will. Derek Glazova actually looked for the counter riposte tonight. She's almost setting up that action. Beat attack, parry, riposte no. And then the final riposte on the left off target. On the leg.
I really think that Volpe's fencing Derek Glazova's game and at her pace. And I'm not really sure if I can see what she's trying to set up. And like I said, they face each other so many times. They have a very clear and set plan of what they're going to do against each other. But I don't really know. I guess Volpe, that's the action she wants, just a straight lunge.
Just a straight beat attack there by Volpe, and gets off the schneid for her first touch. Again, the counter riposte. That's the third or fourth time we've seen that right at the beginning of the bout. So Derek Glazova clearly feels that action.
That's a typical Volpe action. A nice attack, and I think she was kind of hesitant to do that and wanting to hit on some sort of straight action. Now, here.
Well, she scored both of her touches on the attack.
Really nice long attack.
Without giving Derek Glazova the blade, because Derek Glazova has owned the blade so far with the counter riposte.
I mean, it looks like Volpe actually puts it out there for her to take.
No, what happened there, Derek Glazova again made the counter riposte. This time it missed. Volpe's remise of her first riposte had the right away and hit, and then Derek Glazova hit on the remise of her counter riposte. I believe the referee will change this one.
Volpe will have asked for her first video review. Each one of them have 2 per bout.
Here comes the referee. Parry riposte, change the action to the left.
There it is. In the replay, it's Volpe with the last action.
Beautiful parry riposte by Dereglazova.
I think part of it is Volpe. I've seen her fence Dereglazova and miss with her attacks, and I almost think, not that she's hesitant, but I think she doesn't want to launch those big attacks too often.
It must be frustrating for Volpe because Dereglazova has been owning her blade so far. It's frustrating because whatever you do something, Dereglazova's waiting.
So Volpe makes a nice short attack. I think she's mixing it up, trying to figure out her tactics, mixing it up with short actions and longer actions against Dereglazova, and keeping the score low and manageable.
Dereglazova has not really been making long attacks. She's almost making a short attack, letting Volpe.
Volpe there with the parry post.
And then just
Tying
like
it up
that.
5-5.
Yeah. Watch the attack on the right. Parry riposte. Boom. Parry. Ooh.
That was so close.
Very
It almost,
close.
she moved it right off the chest.
Yeah, almost hit before the parry.
Volpe makes a short attack, misses. Dereglazova hits. Oh, a mass cord has come off. Testing the weapon.
Takes the lead. Again, does Dereglazova.
Volpe wants to change her weapon. A good time to kind of change the momentum. We've seen this a couple times. Change the weapon to change the momentum.
So in the first half of the bout, Dereglazova was very successful on making a short attack with no real intent of scoring, allowing Volpe to parry it and make her riposte, with Dereglazova purely waiting for the riposte to come and make counter riposte. She was making an intentional second intention attack, not even trying to score, and that was very successful. Let's see if she goes back to that. That time she made an attack on the blade. She tried to hit, and she hit.
Head by 2 now. Volpe returning the attack, hitting off target. This time Volpe can't take the parry. It's too close to the chest. And Dereglazova makes the hit, pulling away 8-5.
So she's made 2 direct attacks in a row, Dereglazova. Forget the counter riposte. She says, I'm going to hit you in the first action.
I think, again, it'll be a mix for Volpe with long attack actions with short actions now. Short lunge here, I'm thinking.
Not just attack, beat attack. Dereglazova likes to attack with the blade.
Does she like the blade, Jeff?
She likes the blade.
So Volpe answers with the remise, 6-8. A lot of close actions. Volpe is not, usually she goes right off from the guard line and attacks, but here she's just keeping the distance very close and playing a very close to the chest game.
It's probably not so easy for her to make her exploding attacks because you're up against the best in the world who's waiting for it. Dereglazova likes to make that upward beat sometimes when she takes the blade.
Another counterattack action, closing the gap, 7-8 for Volpe.
And that's 2 touches in a row where Volpe hit on the counterattack. Let's watch Dereglazova on the right. Here comes the attack. Missing, and Volpe hits in the counterattack. So if I'm Dereglazova, I'm going to think twice before I make that straight attack again.
Volpe did a nice job of that Italian half step back to draw her, making Dereglazova think the distance was longer than she thought. Volpe only has one, I believe she has one more video or two. Jeff?
I'm not sure how many more videos she has, but on
She's
this
using
action,
one now. Just she wants the attack.
the referee says Volpe's attack stopped, and that gave the right of way to Deriglazova on the right. Hey, look, we can watch the replay screen ourselves here. Referee says put the mask on, as per the rules.
That's Andrzej Witkowski of Poland. Still sees it as an attack. Volpe loses her video.
And
It does seem like Deriglazova is coming forward first.
yeah, she started the attack. Ooh, and the point just glanced off the flank there, but it counted. The fencers have to hit with 500 grams of pressure in order to depress the point, complete the electrical circuit.
I don't know what happened there. Volpe turned around because the light went off on her mask, but the time ran out too. Usually the machine will time out. Once the time runs out, the machine will stop working, but the mask hit worked. So, but the mask doesn't time out with the time.
I've seen it where you're allowed to score with 0 seconds left at the exact moment. But when time is out, that should prevent any lights from going on. And they're calling the technical committee over right now.
I think they need more than just a video review at this point. If Volpe gets the touch, she ties it up. She brings it within one, excuse me. So the mask doesn't time out, the machine timed out. So if you see that they're testing each other, the machine isn't going anywhere, isn't registering
Right.
on the piste. So the question is, did Volpe hit with enough time? But the time probably ran out, and
Referee
then the mask still went off.
Referee said time ran out, no touch.
That's a tough one to end on.
Yes.
But you don't see you see the mask go off, but the piste is the official timer, right? So that's the official say.
We've seen almost everything. I've never quite seen that one. Where time ran out, the machine is blocked out so no lights can go on, yet somehow the mask from the wireless would go on.
Well, those are separate things. I mean, the mask isn't attached to the timer, so the masks don't time out. So yeah, we haven't seen it, but the referee's right. I mean, the time ran out, and the ultimate judge is the lights on the piste.
On the machine.
On the machine.
Yes.
So Deriglazova back and forth. Volpe was able to tie it up, but Deriglazova still ahead by 2. What are we going to see in this next round, Jeff?
I'm looking for Deriglazova to invite the counter riposte that she employed in the first half of the bout. We haven't seen it for a while. Maybe Volpe has forgotten about it, but that's what I'm looking for from Deriglazova. How about you?
You know, again, Volpe has a very specific game that she's playing. It's more answering some of Deriglazova's actions, playing a short attack when she finds the time, a counterattack when she finds the time, and an attack. It's almost as if she's reacting, but ready to react, if that makes any sort of sense. Hopefully.
So when you're saying she's reacting, she's provoking Deriglazova and waiting for her action?
Yeah, and she's just kind of seeing, which one am I going to do now? And here's the attack Volpe does. She's not Volpe where she forces an action to happen. She's more waiting to see and then making the action depending on what Deriglazova is doing.
And there's the counter riposte that we talked about.
Jeff, does Deriglazova like the blade?
She likes the blade, but here she hadn't used that action since the first half of the bout. That's the first time she scored. Watch the attack is short. Beat attack, counter riposte, and she hits directly in the chest. Short, parried, almost like letting it be parried, and then counter riposte.
I find it interesting that at this level that the actions actually get more simple. There's no real flourish to the actions. It's just very simplistic actions. Parry riposte to the chest, beat attack to the chest, straight lunge.
Set up by perfect distance and perfect footwork. This time Volpe's riposte from the left was off target before Deriglazova could pick it up on the counter riposte.
A little too close to make her action. Volpe hesitates and Deriglazova is able to capitalize on a mistake. that's the thing is, it's the game of who makes the less mistakes.
Well, that was too easy a touch for Dereglazova. Straight lunge. Same thing, another attack from Dereglazova.
And she pulls away in the lead with 4 touches.
It's such a hard-fought bout to 10-8, and now all of a sudden 2 relatively easy attacks in the middle. It's 12-8.
Oh, that was a nice touch. I haven't seen Orlando flick on Dereglazova this bout except for that touch.
Well, that was a really nice touch by Volpe. Let's see if she does it again.
Checking the weapon. Volpe now within 2 to tie it up.
It works. Touch for the left.
The last time they fenced in Cairo, the bout score was 15-7, and a lot of their bouts are very similar to that, 15-7. Volpe's really coming in closer.
Oh, it's a big touch right now.
Who's got the parry? Come on, Jeff.
Well, listen, if I had to guess, the very last action was a parry post from Dereglazova on the right. But that was fast. The referee, to his credit, immediately went to the replay and said, let me take a look at this.
Right. We see the replay here. Parry.
Parry or post.
Parry and 2 remises.
Well, that actually, on the second shot, looking at that one, I would almost say it was Volpe's. It's Dereglazova's remise that hit. Let's see what the referee says. That was a toughie.
And again, the referee is Witkowski of Poland making the call.
No one's going to be happy on this call.
Someone will.
Someone will be very unhappy on this call.
Parry post, Dereglazova.
Well, Iris, that was my first gut reaction, but I watched the replay, I wasn't so sure. And that was a huge touch because all of a sudden now it's 13-10.
It's hard with the replay we have because they're all different kind of angles, and he has the proper angle to make the call. And nobody used video there. The referee went to the video by himself to review.
Now, Dereglazova has scored 2 very simple straight lunge attacks on Volpe's preparation. Let's see if she can do it again.
That was a really nice action. Volpe kind of pushed and made a simple action. And I just love this upper level fencing because everything is so simple.
Volpe pushing.
Wow. Volpe within 1 to tie, 12-13, 2 touches in a row. Really nice actions. Dereglazova always able to answer.
Here's Volpe on the left. Parry. Riposte misses.
And remise.
Almost looked like Volpe set that up saying, I'll let you take my blade and I'm going to step in with the remise. Almost as if it was an intentional tactic.
Big touch here for Volpe if she can tie it up, or if Dereglazova can make it within 1.
So Volpe is pushing. Dereglazova is allowing her to be pushed. Let's see if Dereglazova makes a surprise tactic and attacks early in Volpe's preparation.
Not there. Volpe's able, big touch right here, Jeff. Tying it at 13-13. Here's where the bout begins.
Dereglazova there took a little mental break, made a counterattack on a very crucial touch. Volpe gets full marks for making that beat attack. I don't look for Dereglazova to make another counterattack for the rest of this bout.
Volpe made a really nice action. Dereglazova checking her weapon. She's thinking she's missing.
Quite a risk taken by Volpe there. She saw a little opening in Dereglazova's preparation as her feet are moving, but not yet her arm. Watch on the right. Moving forward, her arm is back, and Volpe stepped in, scored a huge touch.
This is very clear for me, and I said this at the beginning of the first round. I think Volpe has studied Dereglazova after the Cairo World Cup and said, enough's enough. I'm going to come in here with a different tactic. And she's really showing herself here on the piste. Now within one of winning the Grand Prix. New weapon is going off target.
Credit to Volpe for changing the tempo of this bout, because early in the bout it did not look good for her. It was almost too easy for Dereglazova.
It's not over yet. Dereglazova still has a chance to tie it up.
Something might be wrong here with Volpe's weapon, because it looked like she went off target there without hitting Dereglazova, and it's happened a couple times, but the fencing continues.
Except for also Dereglazova's foil is going off. Sometimes there's a loose connection between the body cord and the foil that might cause an off-target light. Again, Dereglazova doing her counter post. The weapon is now failing.
Dereglazova has not made one of her patented long, explosive lunge attacks. And you wonder, has Volpe caused her not to, or has Dereglazova just chosen not to? Referee
That could have
says,
been big right there.
yeah, referee says simultaneous. Both started at the same time, no touch.
Oh, this is the tough part about the fencing equipment is this. At this point, maybe Dereglazova should probably change her weapon,
Well,
or a technician could come over.
they should come over, because clearly this is happening on the beating of the blade. There's no, Dereglazova's not hitting anything. So it's breaking the momentum of the bout.
Usually all the weapons are checked prior to coming to the finals so that we can avoid some of these things. But sometimes,
Well, during the course of battle, something comes loose or a wire breaks or something. It happens. Okay, here we are at crunch time.
so now we're going to try to change the weapon. I just want to take a second to say I think Volpe, if I were going to predict anything, has really been about making these, finding the time, and usually she will push to make some action, but she's sort of waiting for Dereglazova. And if Dereglazova does one thing, I'm going to make a long attack. If she does this other thing, I'm going to make a short attack. If she does another thing, I'm going to go back and pair her post. I mean, she's very clear about these things, and obviously has studied Dereglazova. She went in for the counterattack, Volpe. Dereglazova trying to make her attack off target.
Questionable action by Volpe. Bad luck by Dereglazova. She could have tied the score in that beat attack. Ask for the video. Yes.
I'm not sure if she has any videos left.
The referee says attack from the right from Dereglazova off target. Volpe said I took the blade, but the referee said no, you didn't.
I don't think I saw any blade action, Jeff, did you?
No.
Oh, Volpe chances it, takes a risk. I'm close enough. I'm going to get my arm out and make an attack off target.
Just missed, hit off target on the leg.
I'm feeling the tension, Jeff. Are you feeling the tension?
My palms
Volpe's
are
within
sweating.
one.
Yes.
Dereglazova's within one to tie.
Oh, again. So, Iris, here's the bottom line. Derek Glazov has beaten Volpe 9 out of 11 times. Volpe obviously is one touch from winning. If Derek Glazov ties up the score, you know that Volpe's going to start having some doubts because she has lost to her 9 of 11 times. I think this is the touch that she has to score to win this bout.
I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of faith in Volpe today. I really think she did her homework. I'm going to say it over again. I think she did her homework. Trulini is a master tactician. Her coach knows how to beat people. If you put a video in front of her, and I know this because it happened to me. I fenced Trulini twice. I beat her, and then at the Olympic Games when it counted, she absolutely had my number. She just knew how to do it. And not just that, I know that she's got a coach that knows how to think fencing tactically. And also, you know, Derek Glazov reminds me a lot of Valentina Vezzali, someone who is very careful about all her steps. There's Giovanna Trulini, the person I'm talking about. She's an unbelievable tactician when it comes to foil. And, you know, it's obvious that Volpe went back home, talked to her coach and said, we're going to watch as much video as we need and start to come up with the plan. I think they did. And what I mean is that Volpe doesn't create actions. She's reacting to Derek Glazova. Is the distance close enough for that attack with my arm out? Can I make the counterattack? Should I make the remise? She's got a couple of things and a couple of moves she's very clear that she wants to make. Derek Glazova, I would never counter out though.
If I'm Volpe, I'm going for the highest percentage action in my repertoire right now. This is the crucial touch. She doesn't want it to get tied up. I wouldn't look for any counterattacks and lucky touches. I would just say I'm going to go down swinging with my best action. Look how close the fencers are.
Unbelievable back and forth.
And Volpe did the right thing.
Derek Glazova.
She tried for counter riposte and missed.
Right.
She went for the winning action with a great move. She didn't get it.
We have it here, Jeff. Unbelievable back and forth.
Attack, parry, counter riposte misses. And Derek Glazova scores on a very lucky remise of her riposte. Volpe tried.
This is how we want to end the day with these superstars going head to head, 14-14. We're taking bets. Oh, I didn't even notice the time. We were watching and I didn't even notice the time. This is how much tension is in the room. Everybody is quiet and watching these two. What is going to happen next? And we're at 14-14, Jeff.
My prediction is Derek Glazova is going to go back to the well where it worked in the early part of this bout. She's going to push Volpe with a short attack and look for the counter riposte. It's been very successful for Derek Glazova. What do you think, Iris?
Well, I'm watching Giovanna Trulini talk to Volpe, and I'm seeing a lot of hand motions about taking the blade. So we know that Derek Glazova likes to take the blade. I wonder how Volpe will kind of will avoid it, right? Trying to avoid it, moving her feet. When she takes the blade, it looks like she's saying, when she takes the blade, move your feet away so you can make the touch a remise or something else. Don't worry about the blade too much. I'm wondering. I'm sort of trying to interpret gestures here.
Well, I don't understand Italian, but I do understand their hand gestures.
Right.
So here we are, number 1 and number 2 in the world.
This is exactly what we want to see. This is a treat. We're in the third round, 14-14. Two of the biggest stars in fencing facing up each other.
Next touch wins.
And next touch wins at the Anaheim Grand Prix. I'm sweating, Jeff.
My palms are sweaty, but my philosophy is at 14-14. I'm going to win or lose with my best action. Wow.
Volpe goes for it. I haven't seen her do that in a while.
Good for Volpe. Derek Glazova dodged the bullet there. She was running out of options, running out of room. And lucky for her, Volpe hit off target.
Oh my goodness. Volpe goes for her touch, takes the risk again. Derek Glazova kind of steps back, makes counterattack, wins her first Grand Prix of the season. Both of these giant superstars fence an unbelievable bout for the crowd and for themselves. And they've now 1-1 in the season of Grand Prix.
I would say this, nerves of steel for Derek Glazova to
We'll see
try.
the last
Let's
touch
watch
here.
She almost goes off the strip, and she hits on a counterattack as she's retreating. We've seen her do that early in the day, but to do that at 14-14 for the gold medal touch, that takes nerves.
And there's a lot of guts on that strip. Both of them put everything onto the piece tonight. And Volpe is very close to beating Derek Glazova. And I mean it when I said she really did her research, did her homework, and got close. And Derek Glazova is on notice. Because these two are going to meet each other again. They're the most dominant fencers right now in women's foil, and they're going to meet each other again. And it could be they meet each other in Tokyo. So now's the time to start thinking.
Must be a little frustrating for Volpe. She went down swinging. She pushed Derek Glazova to the end of the piece, which increases the odds exponentially that she will score in the attack, maybe 75–80%. And Derek Glazova, she didn't even parry as she was doing all day. She just made a counterattack by angling her arm and causing Volpe to miss.
You know, it's funny. I don't think there's anything to be frustrated about. I think she has a lot of information now. She fenced the bout just as well as Derek Glazova. They both didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. They were both careful on the piece. We saw incredible fencing, and it came down to one touch, and Volpe took a risk there.
I will say this though, as I said before, Volpe was up 14-13, and she couldn't close the deal, and she had lost to Derek Glazova 9 out of 11 times, and it could be in her head a little bit that I had two chances to win this gold medal, and I didn't do it. So she has to really beat her for the gold medal, I think, to get the demons out of her head.
Volpe will have her chances. And up now, we have the finals that we never expected to happen. We have Tommaso Marini from Italy, a young, I think, 18-year-old Italian who is the junior European zonal champion with arms, 7 feet long, miles long. And Martine of France, who is 67th in the world, having a huge day, also with really fast arm. Not as long, but really fast in with the feet. Let's see if Marini wins out with his length, or Martine wins out with his fast legs and his arm.
Now, you said Marini's arms are miles long. Did you mean miles as in distance or as in miles traveling wise?
I think we should measure, right? So, but I mean miles long. Marini has very long arms. And we saw him execute his nice long attack action, kind of like slow feet and really fast arm out on Facconi, who couldn't defend against it, couldn't get the parry against it. And we'll see if Martine can make, we saw Facconi hit with a choppy sort of attack on Marini, and I think Martine might be able to do the same.
Well, let's see if Martine's experience is able to overcome the youthful exuberance and long distance of Tommaso Marini.
I feel like it's just our luck that their names are Martine and Marini. It's like a tongue twister.
Iris, I'll take Martine and Marini after a whole day's worth of Korobeynikova.
That's what I was talking about, Martine's choppy sort of attack and then long arm. It's sort of like the competition between the two of who can get their arm out faster.
Martino, when he goes on the attack, he strikes quickly. It's going to be tough for Martine to attack Marini in the middle of the piece.
Marini, yep, Martine thinks it's his parry post, but won't ask for the video.
So in order for Martin to score in the attack, he has to either take Marini's blade and get him closer, or push Marini to the end of his side of the piece. If you attack right in the middle, Marini can just retreat with that and hit him on a counterattack, like that almost.
Wow, that was a nice action. Well done. Martin makes an attack, misses, and makes a remise, stepping in, closing the distance.
Let's watch Martin on the left. Beat attack, no. And the remise, the second action by Martin on the left.
I mean, that's another way against someone, if you're fencing a taller fencer, is to have that second intention, just to go in quickly with the second action.
And get in quickly inside the longer arm Marini, who can't get his arms free.
The arm judge, the assessor, says that Marini has covered target.
So that's a double whammy because Martin scores a touch and there's a penalty.
Here we can see it here. Is there an arm action? Yes. But Martin was able to get around it.
Good.
But yeah, that's a good call.
Good job on the replay. You can see covering the target there. And what that means is putting the arm, which is an invalid target, in front of the valid surface.
That was Basel El Nagar as the assessor. There's a lot of quick blade action. I wasn't sure.
I think right now Marini's playing into Martin's game. He's way too close and inside. I look for him to lengthen the distance.
Nice attack. But I told you that Facconi was able to hit. And there's that bend in Martin's blade. I think he's probably done with that blade after this Grand Prix. But I was saying that with Facconi in the bout with Marini, was able to make these choppy attacks, and Martin makes those are his attacks, the choppy attack, and is able to land the actions where Facconi wasn't always able to do that.
Well, 2 times in a row, Martin just caught Marini napping and just made straight attacks right in the middle of the piece. Marini's got to keep moving up and down the piece and open the distance a little bit.
I think what's helping Martin too is that the tempo of his arm coming out is also a lot faster and sooner than a lot of the other fencers that Marini has fenced. Marini fenced Alexander Macialis and Facconi, beating them both, but Facconi and Macialis hold their arm back a little bit more. If you see, Martin actually gets his arm out a little bit sooner.
And here we go on the left.
Arm is out.
Feint attack. And Marini is not even taking a retreat. He's just looking for the parry. So when you do that, you're guessing curveball, and if Martin throws fastball, you're hit, and that's exactly what happened. Referee says a tackle fair by Martin. Martin is controlling every action right now. Until that one.
Marini comes a little closer to closing the gap, 2-5. Martinez looking for that, looking to...
Let's see, he's asking for the replay. Okay, so you can ask for the replay in an action. Here is for an infraction to see if, again, Marini covered target. If he did, it's a red card. It'd be a point for Martin. Referee says no.
Martin loses his video.
Sort of a cheap way to lose a video, right? On an arm cover?
No, I think it was well worth it. Because it also kind of spooks the other fencer, too, of like, hey, watch your arm. Marini isn't able to make any of those counterattacks work and any of his sort of actions work because Martin gets his arm out.
Marini has to pick up his foot speed a little bit and open the distance.
Carrier post, nice action.
And just a remise by Marini. You know what I'm saying? You have to at least try to do something like Darren Glazova would make the attack short, look for parry or post. Marini just made a remise there.
But he hasn't had to do that kind of work before. His other actions have worked well, and now he has to make some different types of actions that he hasn't really done all day.
What a touch by Martin, one of the prettiest of the day. Marini makes an attack, looks to close in. Martin parries, sees an opening, makes the riposte. And here's the replay. Watch the parry, He looks for the opening,
Look at that.
and he finds the riposte.
Part of it, too, is he looks for his tempo, too, and he's waiting and waiting, makes a parry, Martin, and he waits, and then hits the target. I do think you're right that the distance isn't right for Marini.
But it's good that he's pushing now. He's not reacting. Up until now, he's been reacting a lot. Let Martin react to your actions. Now, the fencers, once they pass like that, usually the referee will say, well, there's no touch after they pass. The question is here is who passed who?
So let's see the replay. I'm not sure.
That was borderline.
That's still Martin's attack. Marini isn't doing enough work to set up any sort of second tensions. His stuff isn't working. That's what I said to you before, is that, you know, he's young, he's got a couple of actions, but right now Martin is taking away his actions, and Marini is not really adjusting well enough.
But Iris, on that particular, Marini did a nice action, attack on fair, attack on the blade, because he did it from a slightly longer distance, and that's a good one. You should try that again. So there,
He's getting a little fancy. Jeff?
he went for a highlight reel shot there with a jump parry riposte, didn't hit, and Marini hit on the remise the second. Here, let's watch Martin jump in the air, miss, and the remise scored. Actually, it was the second remise. The referee could have called halt there too.
Marini's still within 4. That's still parry post by Martin. Martin's still looking for the covering target card.
That was an important enough target by Martin that he got that light on there, because
so the referee thinks it's, and then you see Martin actually acknowledging.
he tried to go into a shell there, into shrink into nothing, but Marini was able to find the counter post and hit.
He's got to keep working, Martin, if he wants to continue to lead.
Well, 8-2 became 8-5 pretty quickly here.
Okay, so that was a highlight reel right there. Remise behind the head.
Look at this. The referee says that Martin covered target, which is going to not only, that's going to negate his action, and he gets a yellow card.
You're allowed to step forward.
Yes. When you turn around like that and your back arm is in front of your target, you're covering target. You have to keep it up in the air. You can't block it like that. Okay, so now both fencers have yellow cards. Both fencers have covered target. There's been a lot of that going on. Let's see what happens if they clean it up.
I feel like Martin was much more focused at the beginning. Now Marini is within 2.
Well, he's on a 4-0 run. Change the momentum of this bout in a hurry.
I'm not really sure if he changed a whole lot, do you think? If Marini changed a whole lot?
Not really.
I think it's Martin who's making some mistakes right now, rather than Marini really changing any action.
Well, that's a mistake, because Martin attacked from out of distance against a much longer
But
fencer.
Marini's now getting a red card for covering target.
So that's a double whammy. No, it's Marini. Okay, so that takes away his touch, and that gives a penalty touch for Martin. That could break the momentum in a hurry.
Martin back with the arm action, out early, because his tempo is also a little bit different.
Caught Marini napping on that one.
Couldn't make the parry or post. Marini made the remise.
So here's the much longer fencer, the much longer limb fencer, Marini, inviting the infighting and scoring on it.
That's the second time we've sort of seen Martin get caught in the front foot and go to the replay. He's getting
gotta
caught on his step forward.
slow it down a little bit. Slow step, small first step.
And he misses. Marini makes the action and hits.
A tackle fair parry post, which means there's 2 blade actions. Beat attack from the right, a second beat or a parry from the left. No argument from Marini, no argument from his coach to press him. He's asking for the replay, but I agree with this. Martine made the first attack, which is parry.
Right.
Marini now has a small window of time to make an immediate riposte. Martine just continued with the reprise of his attack, or remise of the attack.
Martine now with the right of way, pulling his lead, 12-9 within 3.
Marini caught napping there. That's too easy a touch.
Again, don't think Marini actually is changing anything. I think it's Martine when he kind of messes up a little bit, or takes a big step forward.
I would say you're right. Martine's controlling the dance here.
Like there, just he knows he shouldn't take such a big step forward. Makes a big step, is a little bit excited, knows can taste the gold.
And Marini, I would not do that anymore, because next time Martine will take a shorter step and hit on the attack. I mean, no more counterattacks like that.
Unbelievable. I'm not even sure where he hit, Jeff, but Martine was able to get in close with those fast little steps and then get his arm out. It's very deceptive. You think he's close.
Does he hit under the arm? Let's see.
Where did he hit? He hits under the arm.
It's a great touch by Martine. 13-10. Time running out here in the period. Marini should get out of dodge here without any more touches against him.
Martine ahead, 13-10. He's had a commanding lead basically the whole bout. Marini making up a couple touches, but again, what do you think, Jeff?
The score is 13-10, so it's very close. But wouldn't you say that Martine has controlled the tempo the entire bout? Basically, he's been the provoker the whole time, and Marini's usually the reactor. So if Martine does what he does best, he should score the touch. What do you think?
I think so too. Martine's really the one with all he has the tactical advantage here. He's been making the touches. Marini has just been reacting and not really creating any touches or changing it up. He's still doing counterattacks. He's still trying his attacks, but he's only hitting if Martine makes a mistake, a big step forward or too fast forward on his attack.
So in other words, you're saying that Marini is not provoking the mistake. Martine is doing it to himself.
He's just doing it to himself.
Yeah.
It's I guess some coaches call it an unforced error.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think the key here for the rest of this bout here for Tommaso Marini is not even once again to try a counterattack. He cannot afford, with 2 touches away from Martine winning, to give away an easy counterattack in the middle of the piece.
Right.
Parry, step back, step in.
Exactly.
Just do something, but don't just do a straight counterattack.
Even trying it once will help switch it up a little bit. 13-10, Martine. That blade, I'm telling you, is...
So listen, Martine made a feint attack, or he stopped and then it's simultaneous. This can only go one of 2 ways. Attack from the left from Martine or simultaneous. The referee's going to say simultaneous, no touch.
She keeps the call.
Right.
I don't think Martine has any videos left. Still within 2. Martine just stays there, makes a counterattack, and just stops Marini in his tracks.
Well, sometimes like a fish taking a treble hook all the way down the throat.
Yeah, right.
Marini ate that one whole. Martine really caught him in preparation.
Within 1 of winning today's prize.
And Martine made the attack, Marini made counterattack. You can't go down on a counterattack here. Anything but that. asking for covering. No more challenges. That must be frustrating.
If I'm going to predict the last touch, it's Martine with an attack.
So no unforced error by Martine there. That's just
No,
a
that
nice
was a
touch
nice
by Marina.
action.
Marini, do it again. Step back, open the distance, make an attack. No counterattacks.
That was set up, though. Parry approach.
Two beats.
Routine. Marini wants to go to video. He thinks it's his beat.
It was hard to hear if there were two beats.
Routine's already hugging his coach.
Clearly Marini took the beat attack.
I think Routine is going to have to retire that weapon. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it's going to break. Referee
See what the referee says.
And there it is.
There you have your 2019 Anaheim Grand Prix champion, Martine, who started the day as started the whole competition as 67th ranked in the world, now is a Grand Prix champion today. Did a great job. He's the only one that could stop Marini's long arm attack. Here
That
we
was
see one of
close. It
these
was
actions.
15-11.
Parry
Two
approach, that
beats.
was the last action. Beat and then a parry by Martine. And a nice celebration. Unbelievable.
And there's your winner. He earned it. He fenced the best tactically here in the finals.
It was an unbelievable night tonight. We had